All right, welcome to Callin Your Bluff. Got a special guest here, Drew Burch.
Hello, everyone. Shout out to Brad. Love that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Shout out Brad.
Yeah, we
Yes,
love
sir.
Brad.
Number one listener.
Brad is our biggest fan.
He's a good guy.
Yeah.
He's a great guy, actually. He's
Fat.
he's a man's man.
He's been very supportive, so we appreciate it. Yeah. So, guess we can actually get into a little NBA news since the season's about to start up. Celtics coach Ime Udoka is expected to be suspended for a whole season. Apparently, he was having a consensual relationship with a employee for the Celtics, which is frowned upon. I didn't really think it was worth a year-long suspension, but that's what they're planning. I guess.
Why is that frowned upon? They're like, what if they just genuinely like each other?
Because he has a wife.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's an integrity thing.
Oh, I got
He didn't really break any law. Like, he didn't do anything criminally wrong. Because I've seen like certain people compare it to the Deshaun situation. Like, this guy's getting suspended for 82 games for having consensual relationship with a woman, that works for the Celtics, but it's not really the same. It's just the Celtics don't like that at all because he's their head guy.
I think it's overblown. Like, real, like, I mean, I can see like a little bit of a fine or something, but
Yeah.
to suspend him for a whole year for, like, the report literally said consensual relationship. I mean, he cheated on his wife, so that's messed up. But why do the Celtics feel like they need to get involved that deeply to suspend him?
That's a long time, dude.
Yeah. I get it that she's an employee, but like still, it's like, you know how often that happens. It's I don't know, a year.
Yeah.
And do you know who else just got suspended for a year? Robert Sarver, the Suns owner.
Yeah, he's trying to sell
For
the team
making
now.
racial comments over the years, by the way, and not acting correctly, basically. I mean, he did a bunch of stuff. I mean, y'all can look it up. But
Well, that's a little different.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So why is that the same suspension for having a relationship?
One's a billionaire, one's a millionaire.
Yeah.
I just want to.
Well, and actually, they weren't even going to make him sell the team.
Yeah.
Adam Silver said he didn't have to sell the team, basically. Like they had no right to make him sell the team. He's selling it now because of PR, but still.
I think the Celtics situation is just kind of funny because the dude that is most likely going to be named interim coach, Joe Mazzulla,
Yeah.
he in 2009 he played basketball at West Virginia and he was arrested and charged with domestic violence, and then the very next year he was cited for public urination. So he's not the
That's an outstanding.
he's not your ideal stand-up guy either.
Yeah.
What a replacement.
Yeah. So just thought that was kind of funny.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of weird. Celtics are going to be basically on their third head coach in 3 years, and they made the finals last year.
Yeah.
So,
Stacked roster.
Brad Stevens is still there though. He resigned from coaching to become part of the front office. So
It's like it's like Bruce Arians with the Bucs.
That's
It's
basically
like,
but Brad Stevens is a lot younger.
they're
so
just
it's more
they're
of a
coaching
surprise.
like under the they're coaching without any of the criticism pretty much.
But I wouldn't be surprised if he came back because he was a good coach. It was kind of I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, Joe Mazzulla is not going to lead that team to a championship. So,
Right.
yeah, and I guess in other NBA news, Ben Simmons came out with a podcast with JJ Redick today, podcast episode, and basically slandered the 76ers and basically made them look wrong for the whole Sixers situation dating back. I mean, this all started 2 years ago, and there's a lot on it, but basically Ben Simmons was afraid to shoot in the playoffs, and then he requested a trade and sat out for a year and wanted to get paid his full year salary, and just a big mess. And so he kind of came out with that. So what are y'all's thoughts on that? He's basically telling his side now, but a lot of it sounds like a lie to me. So
I mean, I'm an LSU fan, but I'm really not a fan of Ben Simmons.
Yeah, I got something to say about he doesn't represent LSU at all.
Yeah,
he's a horrible person.
We don't claim him.
Yeah,
but I didn't actually see the podcast, but I did see a part of a podcast on TikTok and where he said that he felt like they were targeting him, trying to get him for any fine that they could. Like they started finding him. He said they started finding him for not working out when he was already apparently the strongest player on the team.
yeah.
He's weak.
Yeah.
He's immature. He's 6'10", and he acts like he's 5'5". Shout out, kid. Yeah. I listened to half of the podcast, and he just came across as like not aware of what he's been doing. Like he failed to mention that, hey, I faked injuries the last 2 years to not play basketball, and then I hopped on a super team, and then things went. I had a little adversity when I joined that super team, so then I just sat out all the playoffs.
Yeah, he claimed he had back issues, which I'll give him that partly. I mean, he's known to have had back issues in the past before he held out and everything. But I feel like in this scenario, he's probably using it as an excuse. Like, he probably could have went out and played for the Nets in the second half of the season.
But why wouldn't he, though?
He kept blaming mental health and things of that nature, but I don't know. He got so much crap online about not playing. I think he's scared of the fans.
I was gonna say I get mental health, like having issues with it, but in the same sense, you're getting paid millions of dollars to play.
Yeah, and this is before he was traded, but for the whole first half of the season when he was sitting out and still in the Sixers, they offered to give him like counseling and stuff, and like was trying to take care of him. He refused all.
Well, what else are you doing? Like, if your mental health's too bad to play, what else are you doing though?
He's known to be he's known to be a Twitch streamer like Kyler Murray. So.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah.
He's like, he was talking about in the podcast like why he doesn't shoot, and he was pretty much just saying like I know I suck at it, so I'm not gonna do it. But then he was like, I don't know why everybody online was talking about how I can't shoot. It's like, dude,
because you can't shoot, bro.
You're one of the best players in the NBA. Like, you're gonna get the criticism.
Yeah.
Suck it up.
But
Just go out there.
I kind of have a problem with
Don't
that.
fucking get on Twitter and read what bums that are sitting on the couch have to say.
Yeah, he even admitted, like, he was like, yeah, I would read stuff and I would start to reply and then I wouldn't reply, but like he was saying, like, I was reading that stuff.
Yeah, no, he's just letting it get in his head.
That was the whole mental health thing to me. I mean, I don't know, but to me that's what it was.
And I've watched his whole career. I mean, he was drafted in 2016, and I liked him a lot as a player coming out, even though he did LSU dirty by not participating in the tournament. But that's another story. He can shoot, though. He shot at LSU. He shot three-pointers. He shot in the preseason. He shoots in training camp every year, and his shot looks good, too. His mid-range and three-point shot looks good. He just refuses to take them. Yeah. He's a really good playmaker. I mean, he looks like Magic Johnson passing-wise. I mean, he's 6'10" and can get, like, anybody open. But, I don't know. It's such a middle thing for him, but I don't know. He just kind of pusses out, honestly.
It's there to collect a check.
So he did get paid for all that time he was sitting out there, right?
Yeah, I don't know if he got paid all of it, but he got paid a good bit. They settled after they traded him,
like
so
8 figures, 9 figures.
Yeah,
pretty much just to be like, because he was like threatening to like take him to court and all that. So they were just basically like, we're finally done with it. We traded you.
He's getting free money.
He's soft.
Yeah.
It's a lot better. I mean, he's on like a 4-year, $150 million contract. So the 76ers honestly dodged a huge bullet with that by just paying him part of that.
You think he's gonna play this year?
Yeah, I think so. It sounds like he's going to play, and I don't see why he wouldn't at this point. He did have surgery on his back in April, so I don't know. But that's apparently the reason why he wasn't playing before. I don't know why he waited till April, but because he was traded in February. But Yeah, I mean that. From everything I've seen, he should be healed for the season. So if he's not playing, then it's just going to be a bigger question.
When does the season start?
October 18th.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Less than a month away.
NBA's like all year pretty much. I mean,
Yeah.
they just played the finals in June, and we're already about to be starting a new season. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, what? How long before the season starts do them dudes like have to be back? Like,
They,
wherever their team is and like training and shit.
Their training camps are pretty short, only like a couple of weeks. They do like mini camps and stuff before. They're probably doing that with like rookies and stuff right now. Kind of how the NFL like brings in rookies first and all that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Probably end of September, so probably like next week or start of October.
Yeah.
They'll
So
start
their
doing
off
training
season.
camp.
Their off season's not that long.
No, yeah, they do play a bunch of games and have a short amount of time. In the NBA, it used to be like a whole other month, like just 10 years ago, but the NBA's been making a lot of schedule changes, and now the season's actually longer, so the off-season's shorter. There's
Right.
more days in between games in the season, so
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, anyway, so that's the whole situation. But yeah, I mean, it's good to dive off a little bit into other sports, and I'm sure there's gonna be more headlines about Celtics coach and Ben Simmons and all that. But yeah,
Getting into NFL Week 2 of football, it's kind of disappointing to me watching the Saints and the Bucs game.
yeah,
Jameis threw 3 interceptions, and Mark Ingram fumbled, and Marshawn Lattimore got ejected.
yeah. It was really frustrating because it felt like we had so many chances, even
Yeah.
at the end.
Yeah.
When Chris Olave fumbled at the end. I mean, and Jameis just. I mean, 3 interceptions looks bad, but I mean, it was really all came back to back. He was just trying to do too much at the end.
Yeah.
He thought they, just had to come back and full swing it.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I feel like he targeted Olave too much. I feel like Michael Thomas should have been targeted more.
Yeah,
'cause
no,
he
I
was
think
catching everything.
they need to make Michael Thomas the focal point of the offense again,
I hope that changes.
because I think he's all the way back.
I mean, we haven't gotten to see a lot of Chris Olave
He's
yet.
all the way up.
Chris Olave had 300 plus air yards, which is like absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Jamie just missed him like 3 or 4 times down the field.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
wide open.
And then the one he catches, he fumbles, of course,
Yeah.
by sheer
Yeah.
luck. But
That-
the game was already pretty much over at that point.
I mean, we still had a chance at that point, though.
Yeah.
When he fumbled, it made me want to kill myself. Because at that point, I knew the game was over.
I think a lot of people aren't talking about it, but I think it shows how valuable Kamara is to our offense, even when he's not putting up crazy stats or whatever. The Bucs were not worried about Mark Ingram or Tony Jones or Dwayne Washington.
Yeah.
If Kamara's in there as both a great runner and a great receiver,
Right.
that puts attention on him. And when they're not focused on him, they're focused on Thomas or Jarvis or
Exactly.
Olave. It's a dump off. Jameis didn't have a dump off option, really. He was trying to dump off a lot, but Mark Ingram, I mean, he's not a great receiver. It's just not. He's more of a downhill kind of runner. And
He can't run a route like Alvin Kamara either. Like, you only have so many routes you can run with Mark Ingram. He's going to sit there and check and wait and see if he needs to block somebody, and then he's going to run 2 yards past the line of scrimmage and turn around and wait for you to throw it to him as a last resort.
Kamara's like a top 3 receiving back, if
Yeah.
not the best receiving back in
Yeah.
the NFL. So that takes a lot away from the offense.
But I remember last season, at the beginning of the season, we won week 1 against the Packers, but after that, they were saying how we needed to get Alvin Kamara more involved. And I want to say we played the Steelers, and Alvin Kamara had an option route and took it like 60 yards down into the red zone. And after that, they started getting him more involved, and we started out 5-2 with Jameis.
Yeah.
So it's not like so much. I feel like they're trying to force feed him as a runner when they need to use his abilities to their advantage. Like, throw him the ball.
Yeah.
So what? Like make them account for Alvin Kamara, and then that's when Michael Thomas pops open.
Right.
And then they start worrying about Michael Thomas, and that's whenever you hit them deep with Chris Olave.
Yeah.
What the receivers the Saints have, if we can get that fixed where Kamara's a legitimate threat in the receiving game again, I don't see how we miss.
Yeah.
I don't see it.
And our O-line did better this week, but
But 6 sacks is still too many.
Yeah, they're still not good at all. I mean, something's gonna have to happen. I mean, a trade or something.
Yeah.
Now, at the beginning of the game, Jameis was just too cautious, I think. Like
That too, yeah.
Well, he's probably not as mobile as you wish he was either.
He doesn't have good excuse with that broken back, but like part of Jameis's play style is to sling it down the field.
Yeah.
Sling it all game. You can't just sling it in the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter and expect good things.
Yeah, and I love Jameis, but I mean, you look at the talent gap between him and Andy Dalton, and it's really not that big of a gap. So I feel like if he has 4 fractures, I know it's the Bucs, but it's still early in the season. You got to give Andy Dalton a shot. I mean,
Yeah, but at the same time, I think a underrated part of the game is that you, especially on offense, you click with a quarterback. You don't click with multiple quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Because it all comes down to timing.
yeah.
That was the problem in the first 3 quarters of the Falcons game with Michael Thomas, really, but all the receivers, but mainly Michael Thomas. Him and Jameis weren't on the same page.
And they still probably aren't exactly on the same page.
Yeah.
I mean,
And it's like, Andy Dalton looked really good in the preseason. I think he's a great backup, but do I want to bench Jameis if we absolutely don't have to? No. Because all the offense is set with Jameis right now. He's the offense right now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. I just hearing like 4 fractures in your back, I just feel like that could get worse.
It's definitely going to take a toll on him as we go on through the year. I mean, it might not right now, but there's no. If what they're saying is true, you can't just play through that. I mean, you can, but it's going to get worse.
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't have a red jersey on in a football game. You know what I'm saying?
I think he looked, like Drew said, he looked cautious.
Yeah.
Pretty much the first 3 quarters of this game, really. But I don't think he looked bad until the fourth quarter, obviously, when he was just forcing balls down the field that shouldn't have been thrown. But he didn't look bad even with the 4 fractures. So, like, I don't know how severe this is. Like, to me, it's weird that they're so confident in throwing him out there and letting him practice every week. Like he's healthy with 4 fractures. So something tells me it's not that big of a deal. Like, it sounds bad, but it to me, they wouldn't be throwing James out there with Andy Dalton. I mean, everything I just said about the whole, clicking with the offense. If Jameis was actually really hurt, they would be putting Andy Dalton in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Now, 4 out of the 5 people here are Saints homers. So I would like to hear the opinions of Saints rest of the season. How they're going to do. Because, Saints teams, past seasons, first 2 weeks are always the worst. So
Yeah, I mean, for the past 4 years, we've started out 0-2. So,
Well, this year and last year we started out 1-1.
Oh, gotcha. So,
and then before that, it was like 3 or 4 years.
yeah,
we started out
that's what I'm
0-2.
thinking of. Yeah, I forgot about last year, but yeah. And we made the playoffs pretty much all 4 of those years. So.
except for last year.
My view on the Saints is like, I don't think that they're going to be this crazy dominant team, but I do see Jameis getting a lot better throughout the season, and like our receiver core getting more on the same page with them. And I mean, I see him throwing 10 or 12 picks throughout the season, but I also see him throwing 35 touchdowns.
Yeah. Jameis has to know too, which I think is why he's playing really, is that if he doesn't have a good year with this team, he's not the answer. Like, he's not gonna get another shot.
Yeah.
Like, we're gonna bring somebody in.
He has 3 really good receivers.
Yeah.
Like, he no excuses this year.
Yeah.
And Alvin Kamara. So
and some of the best weapons. Like, I mean,
and a good defense.
I'm obviously biased towards the Saints, but I mean, I feel like even from an outsider, you would say the Saints, talent wise on offense, have one of the best offenses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't make
Talent-wise.
any excuses for Jameis
Yeah.
at this point.
No, and my outlook on the Saints, I mean, I don't see how they can't be successful. I mean, I'm not even going to talk any shit. I mean,
Yeah.
I know, like, the Jameis situation is kind of weird. And, like, if you did have to move forward without him, it would be a little bumpy. But Andy Dalton is not horrible.
Yeah, I
Right.
mean, we have a good backup plan. But one thing I want to bring up, too, with the last 2 games, our penalties have been horrible.
Yeah.
And that's on us because, I mean, especially Marshawn. And in last game, I don't think he should have been ejected necessarily. Because
Yeah,
he
he
didn't
should've.
initiate contact. Fournette did.
Fuck you, Chris. No, he shouldn't.
But
Hey,
dude, no.
He got
bro.
attacked
Then again,
on
like
midfield.
He started.
he
he
did,
started.
but
He
threw
did
punches.
get attacked. He started. He was talking shit. Him and Tom Brady were talking shit, and Leonard Fournette did not intervene until Marshawn Lattimore started walking towards Tom Brady. Leonard Fournette put his hand in his face. Marshawn pushed him back, and Mike Evans, he was just looking for a reason to go fucking pop Marshawn. They
Yeah.
have beef. They have beef way outside of that game. I'm not saying what he did was right, but
I
I
don't
do believe that what they did with Marshawn was right.
I don't
he didn't
think
get
that
suspended
they-
for a game. I don't believe he was fined.
No.
He just got ejected from the game.
Yeah, well, I don't think that they were wrong for ejecting Marshawn just because he had hit multiple players after the fight broke out a little bit more.
Right.
Like, they could not eject him at that point.
And-
Like, if he would have just got hit and not hit anybody and just or walked away or just stood there, I don't think he would have got ejected. But he punched at least 2 more players after the fact.
But
My take.
Let's go, Toby.
We're currently
got,
watching the Browns and Steelers Thursday night game.
He just got like a 30-yard
Yeah.
run, so that over's going to hit.
yeah, but the point I want to bring up, especially with Marshawn, I mean, he almost cost us the Falcons game.
Yeah.
Towards the end, they got that field goal because of that penalty.
Mm-hmm. He needs to learn to control himself
He-
for sure.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not
what-
gonna say the Saints as a team because I believe that'd be wrong. Marshawn Lattimore is undisciplined.
He's acting
He
like
is
it.
very good.
Yeah.
He's very good. I would say he's elite.
I
He
thought
is
this.
undisciplined.
I thought this was America, home of the free, land of the brave, or however that saying goes. You know, once you get attacked, you should be able to respond with full force to the fullest of your ability.
He didn't get
to
atta-
fuck up whoever attacked you and their teammates.
He didn't get attacked though. That's just
Yeah, he did,
that's a
bro.
major bias.
No,
You take
he did get attacked though. Like, that's the second time Mike Evans has done that. Like,
what Mike Evans did was
he can
an
talk
attack,
shit, dude.
but
You can't tell me Tom Brady was not talking shit. Like, why would Marshawn turn around?
Marshawn was walking away.
Whoa,
Yeah, he turned
whoa,
around when Tom Brady said
he
something.
turned around and started walking towards Brady.
He was
could
walking
argue-
Tom
off.
Brady was talking
Wait, wait,
shit.
wait.
He was turning
Wait,
around
wait,
talking
wait.
shit back.
He was going at Brady.
Hey, let me break this down. So you are missing a key point here. Bruce Arians actually started the whole thing because he was talking to Marshawn, which Marshawn shouldn't have responded the way he did, but he did. Started talking to, and I don't think they showed it on the camera, but what I think happened is Marshawn started talking to Arians, and either Fournette or Brady said something, and then he went up, started talking crap to Brady. Fournette pushed him. Marshawn's, chirping. Tom Brady was actually about to grab him, and then Mike Evans came in. But
Tom Brady wasn't gonna do
Nah,
shit.
Tom Brady was
Yeah.
being
Tom Brady's a-
Tom
No,
Brady
no.
was being a puss. Bro.
I'm not saying he would, but what I'm saying is I think Bruce Arians started it, but I think Marshawn has to be smart enough to know that he's had a lot of issues in his whole career with starting stuff, like just being a nuisance, because that's his play. He's aggressive. He likes to talk, but he has to know, like, even if they're talking to you, just walk away, man. Like, or say one thing.
No,
and
he's
just
got to
walk.
know that people are gonna try him. Like,
Well,
people
I
are
think
gonna try to get him out the game.
I don't think Marshawn started it, but I don't disagree with him being kicked because I think he has to know, dude. Like, you're not like a first time offender. Like,
Yeah.
you're gonna get kicked if you do anything because the refs. Say what you will about the refs and the Saints. Like, I know better than anybody, but the refs know that you're a problem. Like
Mm-hmm.
you can be a problem.
Yeah.
Right.
So he has to. It's on Marshawn ultimately to figure out like, hey, let me just stay on the field and let the play do
Exactly.
the
Yeah.
talking.
Exactly.
Say one thing or two, but don't escalate it. Like,
And you can say what you want. You can argue both sides
yeah,
because both teams were talking shit way before that. I mean, it's
yeah.
nowadays one of the biggest rivalries in the NFL. I mean, Saints Bucs is always talked about.
I hate to admit it, but he's right.
So
Yeah.
I firmly believe that had Marshawn not started walking towards Brady, like talking shit is fine. Everybody was talking shit. He started walking towards Tom Brady. Leonard grabbed him. Marshawn pushed Leonard back because he grabbed him by his throat, and that's when it all broke out.
I think Leonard Fournette should have been ejected too.
Yeah.
I
he started.
think an argument could be made if you're gonna start going off of who like started the physical contact. Fournette did.
Yeah.
I mean, but that
He did.
But
The only reason is because Marshawn was walking towards Brady.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
that's the point I was trying to make. Like they know Marshawn's gonna start something.
You know what pisses me off?
Tom
though?
Brady's a bitch though, bro. Like,
I hate.
Hey, it's
That's what I was
fucking
gonna.
nose job,
That's
motherfucker.
what I was gonna say. I hate how they're so protective over him. Like, what do you want me to do? It's Tom Brady. Let somebody fucking pop his bitch ass.
Yeah.
And they're-
yeah.
I
He fucking
agree.
deserves to get fucking knocked down a couple of pegs.
Like
Oh, yeah.
he's one of the best quarterbacks ever. But goddamn, dude, he bitches about every little thing. He's in the ref's ear all game. He
throwing
talks shit.
Microsoft
He
tablets.
talks shit, and then when a fight breaks out, he just like slowly.
He just
walking
stood there,
towards
bro.
It. Like
He
he
just
wasn't.
stood there and watched
He
it.
was about zero action.
Yeah.
He was talking all that shit, and nothing happened.
And
So
also,
so wait, what you're saying is he's not him.
He's
No,
not about
he's
that
not him.
action.
He's not him.
No,
He
he's
does not want that.
Tom
smoke.
Brady, you are a bitch.
and also, what about all the offside penalties we got? I saw three
And
different
a
plays.
helmet to helmet one with Bradley Roby
That one
apparently
too.
that was
And
like
the 12-man penalty on the punt.
Yeah,
That
well,
was
that one
legit.
12
That was
men.
legit.
that
that
one
was
was
12
just supposed to be stupid. But the three offsides that I saw, we had a couple more offsides that were us. But the three offsides that are going around on Twitter and everything, the Bucs jumped first.
Yeah.
And then we reacted and we got the offsides 3 different times.
and they tried saying it was because the guy that reacted wasn't head up to the defender.
Yeah, and also 2 of those times the Bucs were on 3rd down, so the game could have went a completely different way.
Yeah.
If if those didn't happen. So I don't know. I don't want to like come out and be crazy Saints fan saying the refs are against us
Embrace it.
necessarily.
You are a crazy Saints fan.
But it kind of seems that way sometimes for sure,
I'll-
especially against the Bucs.
Yeah.
I'll add to that and say, especially during the first half of the game, there were actually a couple plays where the whoever on the Bucs, I can't name them, but whoever on the Bucs flew in as the tackle was being made, and they called unnecessary roughness on the Bucs. So I think
Levante David.
I don't think the refs were playing with that aggressive game, but I think that also ties into they know that things are at any time can pop off, which they did. So they're trying to play the safest game possible.
Well, how did they not see that Carlton Davis clearly tried throwing a punch at Michael Thomas in the end zone?
Yeah,
Yeah.
stuff like that's ridiculous. But I think if you watch the game back, you can see some stuff that the Bucs got called for that they shouldn't have been called for. Even as a Saints fan, I'm glad they got called because we got yards out of it. But I think it was more of just the refs were trying to play a safe game more than anything.
Yeah.
But now, not to say I don't think there's been a lot of games where the Saints have gotten screwed by the refs, but this one I can't really point to it and be like they
Yeah.
screwed the Bucs on a lot of plays too. is
Yeah,
what I'm trying to
I mean,
say.
I wouldn't say that the reason why the Saints lost was because of the refs. I would not say that. I think the reason why
Yeah.
the Saints lost was because of the 3 interceptions. But I think a few calls went the Bucs' way that really hurt the Saints more than the calls against the Bucs
Yeah,
did.
I don't want to say the game would be different. It kind of frustrates me seeing 3 calls like that.
Bro, George Pickens
Yeah.
just made an Odell type.
Yeah,
catch.
Holy shit.
George Pickens is him.
FYI, George Pickens is really good. If y'all are watching Thursday Night Football,
Hey,
We-
he
we-
told everybody this past week. He said, "I'm open 99% of the time."
Yeah.
So I mean, he's right. That's
Yeah.
open. That's open.
Well, kind of getting away from Saints because I don't want us to stay on that subject too long. One game that really caught my eye was the 49ers game. I don't know what it is about Jimmy Garoppolo, but I just think that the 49ers are not treating him right. I mean, he's taken them – I wouldn't say taking them to a Super Bowl, but he's been the quarterback for them while they were in the Super Bowl. Trey Lance goes down with an injury, and Jimmy Garoppolo comes in and plays very good. And after the game, Kyle Shanahan proceeds to say that Trey Lance is the quarterback of the future.
Well,
I think it's just because of what Jimmy G does. Like once the season's over, like those reports about him like ghosting the team or whatever. I feel like that's it. Like
But he
they
shows
think-
up and plays.
Yeah,
Like,
I know. They want somebody who I don't know. I guess will.
They've been very successful with Jimmy Garoppolo.
I think Jimmy
Yeah,
Garoppolo coming in makes the 49ers an instant NFC Championship contender.
I didn't see him as a contender with Trey Lance at
Yeah,
all.
I didn't either.
What they're trying to do is be like the Chiefs, where they passed it from
Alex Smith.
Alex Smith, and passed it on to Patrick Mahomes. I mean, Mahomes sat out a season just like Trey Lance. Then the
Yeah,
next
but
year-
Mahomes came in and played like Mahomes. Trey Lance has came in and
Yeah,
played like
Trey Lance has barely played.
I don't see
I
anything.
think they were just going off. We took him with the second or third pick, or
But
whatever.
Alex
they
Smith
did.
was ready to go. Jimmy G's not.
Yeah.
And now we are kind of not being fair to Trey Lance because Trey Lance did play his first full game in a fucking hurricane over there in Soldier Field. It was a fucking flood in Soldier Field.
That too.
Bikini
Yeah, you
Bottom.
can't base it off of that
so
game.
I mean, he only had half a drive before he got injured.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of pressure when you pick a quarterback at number 3 and let him wait a year. So I think the problem with Jimmy G is you know what you're getting, and you know that most years you're not making a deep playoff run with Jimmy G. They did get to the Super Bowl with Jimmy G with the stacked team, but the way the NFL is going nowadays, you almost need a dual threat guy like Trey Lance. You need somebody who can extend plays. Jimmy G can't do that. I think Jimmy G's a above average quarterback, maybe average quarterback, but
Jimmy G is the new Andy Dalton line.
I mean, it's a hard situation because you have this guy who can start for a lot of other teams and Jimmy G, but you also picked this dude number 3 overall, so you want to get him
They're
in.
like trying to not be wrong with the pick.
Yeah. I mean,
Almost, but also you don't know if he's just gonna have a bad year and then pick it up the next year. I mean, Josh Allen, if you look at his first 2 years, weren't that good.
Yeah.
Josh Allen is the exception,
Not-
not the rule.
Yeah, Josh Allen is also fucking 6'3" and 240 pounds. Like,
Give him run like a 4.5 or
He's
something.
probably taller than 6.
He's
Oh, yeah.
6'5", but
Yeah, well,
Trey
okay, even
Lance.
more.
Trey Lance is actually a similar build, not as tall, not as big, but he's like, I want to say Trey Lance is 6'3", like 220.
who'd they have starting for the Bills before Josh Allen?
Tyrod
Yeah, Tyrod.
That's also like what is Tyrod done for the Bills?
to be a good.
He was a Pro Bowler on the Bills.
Yeah, but not.
No, he's not. No, but I'm saying.
not bringing him to
But
the
Jimmy
Super Bowl.
G isn't that guy either. Is the problem? Like Jimmy G has gotten them to a lot of wins and has whatever, but the problem is that if they weren't sold on Jimmy G, there was a reason they wouldn't have picked Trey Lance at number 3. I still see a lot out of Trey Lance. I mean, it's his first couple games, and he got screwed by the injury. But sorry, Najee just scored fantasy touchdown.
Yeah, but
But wait,
But-
there's some yellow on the field.
Oh my god!
yeah, but with Jimmy G, I get what you're saying, Jeremy, about leading them to a Super Bowl. But then you look at like the Broncos with Brock Osweiler when he came in from Peyton Manning, and he played good enough to
Yeah,
bring
but
them to the Super
Brock
Bowl.
Osweiler is not Jimmy G. Jimmy G has proven that he can get
Yeah.
the team
Aussie,
wins
bro.
year in
Aussie
and
is a
year out.
unit.
But,
will.
he's also very injury prone, and he's making he was making $25 million when they were trying to trade him.
Look at Carson Wentz, bro. Like,
Carson Wentz is
who are the
actually
Commanders going to start? Though?
leading the NFL in pass yards right now.
Yeah,
Carson
right
Wentz
now.
is extremely underrated, bro. He's not like a fucking even a top 10 quarterback, but like people shit on him like he's the fucking worst quarterback in the league. Like, yeah, the mistakes he makes are probably the worst mistakes in the fucking league. But like when he's not making mistakes, he does very, very well.
When he's not making mistakes.
You know what this season that he's about to have reminds me of, just based off the first two games, Jameis Winston 2019
Facts,
Bucs.
bro.
That's
30 for 30.
dude. He's gonna do it. I'm positive he will.
Carson Wentz is a goofball, though. He broke both his ankles at the same time last year. How do you do that? That's a Carson Wentz thing, bro.
Yeah.
But,
I will say though, the Jimmy G Trey Lance situation is unique because you usually don't take a guy at number 3 when you have an average to above average quarterback, but who brought you to the Super Bowl. But the thing is, when you look at potential, Jimmy G is maxed out. Like he's already where he'll ever be. Like he will never be better than he is right now. Trey Lance, he might be bottom tier quarterback, or he might end up being a top 5 quarterback. You don't know. So you want to get him in there. It's weird. It's weird, but I see why they have to start Trey Lance this year. I mean, they can't anymore, but I see why that was the thing. That's what they were doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also, I don't know. I mean, maybe Jimmy Garoppolo didn't even want to be there anymore because, they took a guy number 3 that plays their position and that they're basically grooming to start over you. So why would you want to stay if you can get a trade out of there and still make the same money, which obviously didn't happen at the end of the day. But I don't know.
I think last year they did let Trey Lance get in quite a bit for a backup, and they let him start a game last year, and he showed a lot of flashes. So I think part of it was he had bad games last year and bad plays, but he did show a lot of flashes. So it was like, let's build off of that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird situation.
I mean, I just don't know what they do if Jimmy G has a really good year.
Yeah, that's when it gets really weird.
Yeah, do you still say Trey Lance is for sure our starter?
I think it's a big risk, but I think you have to roll with Lance, and I think you have to sell Jimmy G at a high price to make the team better.
Well, isn't it more complicated now with this reworked contract? Doesn't he only have this year left?
I think he has next year too.
Does he? Okay. I was thinking maybe they only restructured for 1 year and that was it. But yeah.
But let's move on to week 3 predictions. I think we're just gonna go. We're gonna pick some games. We're not gonna go over every single game because, let's face it, not every single game is exciting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start with the first 12 o'clock game on Sunday. Bills-Dolphins should be a very interesting game.
Yeah. Personally, I think the Bills are just there's the NFC, there's the AFC, and then there's the Bills.
Yeah. I think the Dolphins have had a really good couple games, but I think at some point Tua kind of shows like, hey, I'm not as great as everybody is hyping me up to be right now. He had a really good game against the Ravens, but the Ravens, as of right now, have the worst secondary in the league, whereas the Bills have one of the best secondaries in the league.
Right.
So, yeah, he has a lot of weapons, but I'm not worried about at all what the Bills are going to do on offense. I think they will steamroll every team offensively, but they also have a top 5 defense. So
yeah, I want to say their total offense was number 2 in the league, and their total defense was number 2 in the league.
Yeah, so I'm not any of these games. I'm not betting against the Bills. So
no, I don't.
Like a score prediction here, probably Bills 31, Dolphins 17. That's the type of game I see. I think the Dolphins are still good, but I don't think they're Bills level good yet.
Yeah. Well, my game is going to be the Rams and the Cardinals at 3:25, and y'all might be shocked by this, but I think the Cardinals get going and Kyler Murray has a really good game.
Cliff Kingsbury is a fucking fraud, bro.
I agree.
He's
I'm not
such an overrated coach, bro. He should be fired immediately.
I just don't think that the Rams are that high powered anymore. I just don't see it. I mean, week 1 they lost to the Bills. I mean, you can say that
Yeah, but I mean,
the NFL's the NFL, but they had a close game with the Falcons, and personally, I think the Cardinals' offense is way better than the Falcons' offense.
Yeah, but they are missing a lot of guys right
Yeah,
now. And James
yeah.
Conner is questionable, which he's had a history of injured ankles, which is what this is. So they're also missing Rondale Moore and DeAndre Hopkins. So I see like why you could say that, but at the same time, I think I'm gonna switch it around with what you said about the Cardinals. I think the Rams, this is the week they show like, hey, we're the Rams. Like we're one of the best teams. Because if you look last week, I mean, Cooper Kupp did his thing, but more importantly, Allen Robinson finally showed up.
Got involved, yeah.
Yeah. Like, I mean, after the first game, I think everybody was like, dude, it wasn't the Bears last year that was the problem. It's him. Which, and I still think he's not as great as everybody like hypes him up to be. Because I think he's kind of like, he can't, I don't think he can create separation. But if he can establish himself as a solid wide receiver 2 next to Cooper Kupp, I think they could be deadly.
I just seen the problems that the Rams had with Josh Allen, and don't get me wrong, Kyler Murray is not Josh Allen, but I think his running ability is going to be the difference in the game. And I don't think that Matthew Stafford is going to be Matthew Stafford from last year.
Yeah.
You know, the Matthew Stafford that led him to the Super Bowl.
You know, interesting about that too. It came out before the year that he had a injury to his right shoulder, his throwing shoulder.
Yeah.
And
he lost his offensive coordinator.
It's showing
And
with
he
his
doesn't
injury.
have Odell. He doesn't have Robert Woods anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, Allen Robinson actually showed up this past week, but I don't know, something about the Cardinals in the beginning of the season. Yeah, they had a bad week 1, but I see the Cardinals taking this one 38-28.
Yeah, I could see it either way.
People tend to forget about Van Jefferson. He was a pretty, I wouldn't say huge part of the Rams offense last year, but he was
a
definitely
good wide
there.
receiver 3 for him.
He was an
their,
option there.
He was their shot guy. Like when they wanted a deep ball,
Right.
he was their guy.
But
he's injured.
yeah, he's injured right
he
now.
was
He
hurt
hasn't
last
played
week.
yet. But honestly, I think the Rams defense is too good for the Cardinals to put up a lot of points.
Yeah.
I don't think they're that
Jalen-
good.
But Jalen Ramsey getting torched in week 1 he's going to be mad. He's going to have a good game.
He did have a pick last week, week
Yeah.
2. So I think he's. I mean,
I think the
Against
Rams.
Marcus Mariota, fucking bomb.
I think the Rams D line is gonna have Kyler running around like a little kid from his mom in the store. But
trying to find the new PS5.
I don't really see the Cardinals beating the Rams. I don't know what the problem is. I don't know if it's Kyler or Cliff Kingsbury, but the Cardinals they seem
Cliff.
really fraudulent.
It's Cliff.
Plus, you can't really look at the Bills-Rams game because the Bills look like a 20-0 team right now. I mean,
yeah.
It's very early in the season, but they've routed both.
But
No,
you can look at the Rams and the Falcons game though.
They're on the Bills are on another level.
But I mean, we're a good team, you know, on paper, and the Falcons almost beat us. So I think
but
the
it's
Falcons are a
the
scrappy
Rams.
team.
Like
I wonder if
I think the Falcons are better than what most people think.
I think they're gritty. I think they're not gonna win a lot of
They
games.
remind me of the Lions last year.
Yeah, they're gonna keep a lot of games close. Is what? Yeah, that's
Well, it just goes to show that there's not a huge gap.
in good or
In the
bad.
NFL.
NFL
There's really not. I mean,
any given Sunday is a true statement.
I
That's
mean, the Jaguars beat the Bills last year.
yeah. I mean, every few years you get that one team that's like the 0-16 Browns from 2016 that like would never win a game with that roster. But for the most part, I mean, most teams are all in the same caliber. I mean, they just have a few players separating them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd kind of like to talk about the 49ers and Broncos game. It's going to be Sunday night. And I think it's pretty interesting with Jimmy Garoppolo's full return. It'll be his first game fully back. Also, Russell Wilson and the Broncos haven't looked too hot so far. They barely escaped the Texans last week. So it's going to be a true test for them. I mean, I see two good teams there matching up. So, yeah, we'll see how it is. I just kind of see the Broncos as frauds right now. So
Can't even get a playoff
Nation.
in time.
yeah,
Broncos Nation, let's ride.
Let's ride.
yeah. Their coach Nathaniel Hackett, he just doesn't look like he knows what he's doing out
So
there.
you think the 49ers take it?
Yeah, I'd probably go. I'm gonna go 28-17 49ers.
Okay.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I just think too many people are doubting Russell Wilson right now.
Bro, Russell Wilson is
I'm
a
not-
fucking fraud.
I'm not saying that I'm not saying he's Russell Wilson that we've seen early in his career, but he's somebody that knows how to win games. And I mean, I've seen videos and everybody's making fun of him for, saying run or pass, but it's football. Like, why is that something that you would make fun of a quarterback for? Like, you want every advantage that you can have. He's a leader. I don't see him being bad.
I see him having like a very conservative season where he throws like 24 touchdowns and like 4 or 5 picks.
Yeah.
Not a lot of touchdowns, but not a lot of interceptions. But I just don't know if that's going to be enough to really make a splash in the playoffs if they even make it. Honestly, I mean, their team looks pretty good top to bottom on paper, but I don't know. Just so far they haven't really played.
Yeah, it's really hard to make any predictions like that because, like with Jameis, Russell's with a whole new team. He could have all training camp, but until mid-season, you really don't know what you're going to get from him with a new team.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these picks are almost shot in the dark because we could look at our picks from last week and most of them weren't right. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's still early season, so a lot of teams can turn it around, and a lot of teams might be frauds.
Right.
Still, so it's pretty interesting time right now. But yeah, I mean, hopefully they turn it around. But I do like the Broncos' culture and just their history. So I do like Russell Wilson. So I kind of hope he turns it around. But
Okay, George just missed another extra point, I think.
For my pick, I wanna be biased and pick Ravens and Patriots, but I won't. I want to talk about the Bucs and the Packers. I think it's kind of an overlooked game. We've got two legendary quarterbacks facing off. Neither one of them probably have as many weapons as they would like, but I think it's going to be a good defensive battle. I see Tampa Bay winning it. I mean, Tom Brady's just Tom Brady, and I think the Bucs are more of a well-rounded team than Green Bay is. Score, I'm going to go 24-17 Bucs.
yeah, I could see that.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers would rather smoke ayahuasca with his teammates and play football with them at this point. So,
Yeah.
I just wonder if their receivers can play up to the expectation that they should.
Honestly, they'll probably never be able to. Aaron Rodgers seems like kind of a douche.
I don't see how. That's what I don't get. I get you expect the best out of them, but in the same sense, they are rookies, and I know me as a person, I wouldn't like a quarterback like that. I wouldn't want them to be the leader of my team. Like, I'm a rookie. You're supposed to bring me up, not put me down. Don't if I drop a pass, don't throw your hands up in there and say what the fuck, know.
He's taking the Michael Jordan approach. 'Cause
Yeah.
Jordan was known to decimate the young players on the team.
Yeah.
And I mean, some of them he actually made better from that. It seems like, but I don't know. It is kind of a weird situation. I don't really know why Aaron Rodgers went back to the Packers. I mean, I know he's been there all of his career, but
No money.
But he knew the situation he was coming into, so I kind of get your point. I mean, you still have to give the receivers. I mean, you got to teach them something. As
Exactly.
a quarterback,
You look at and I hate to keep bringing him up, but like you look at Drew Brees whenever he had undrafted free agents and rookies that he was throwing to. If there was some kind of miscommunication or a drop pass or something, he wasn't getting all pissed off throwing his hands up. It was he would talk to him after the play, see what went wrong, where they can do better next time. That's how you help out young players and players who don't necessarily have that special talent to just maul somebody or burn somebody.
Yeah.
Like, you got to build a relationship with them, and I don't see how Aaron Rodgers is going to be able to do that, acting the way that he does.
I mean, maybe it's just worked for him in the past. I mean, we don't know throughout his career. Maybe he's yelled at every receiver he's played with at some point.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why he's had so much success, just holding them to such a high standard and treating them that way. But I don't think he always treats them bad. I think the reports are a little exaggerated.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean,
Work for Devontae Adams.
I would I'd agree with what you're saying, Blake. I don't think he's like that all the time. I just think he's part of the older generation.
Yeah.
And it honestly depends on who he's talking to as to how they take it. I mean, some guys, if you cuss at them and put them down, they're gonna just shut down and not want to do anything for you. And other guys are gonna want to go harder, prove you wrong, and that's what motivates them. So,
but what would you respect more?
Me personally, I wouldn't want somebody like Aaron Rodgers. I
I
don't think he's a cockhead all the time, but I feel like he goes about it the wrong way.
Yeah.
I mean, like you were saying, they're rookies, and who gives a shit if they're really good? I mean, when you step on an NFL football field and the dude lined up behind, across the field from you, he's been playing on a professional level for 5, 6, 7 years, it's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah.
yeah.
And, when you have a quarterback, like you said, the leader of the team being like that, it's almost like you're too scared to mess up.
Right.
Like, you can't play loose. You
exactly.
can't be free because you're scared that fucking Aaron's going to get pissed off at you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Well, Drew, what's your game this week?
I'm pretty disappointed that out of all the Saints fans in this room, they didn't pick the fucking Saints game. The Saints are going up against the fucking Panthers. It's a great comeback spot for the Saints, Panthers.
Only Saints fans care about this game.
You can go ahead and go fuck yourself with a 12-inch cock, Chris.
I'd rather not.
We are a family-friendly show.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself too, Braid. But great comeback spot. The Panthers have lost the last 10 games. They're gonna be hungry.
Your last
for a
9.
win.
Bro, Baker is going to fuck y'all up.
Baker does not look good.
Yeah.
Baker has
no.
looked like shit.
Bro,
Matt
they were
Rule
just showing
needs
some
to be
highlights.
fired.
They were just showing some highlights on the TV, bro. Baker can sling it, son.
They're called highlights.
If
Yeah,
he,
but-
if he rolls out to the right, you better watch out, son.
Yeah.
That's all I'm trying to say.
I don't think he does much against our defense.
I think
Yeah.
Baker's gonna hang 300 on y'all.
No.
300?
Fuck
Hot
no.
take,
No.
yes.
Bro, I don't know if Baker will throw 300 at all this year, honestly,
Bro,
the way he's been playing.
It's Baker Mayfield.
I don't
dude.
know if
He's
Baker
gonna
has
throw
200
100
yards.
He's gonna throw 175 yards. Fucking
2
maybe a
picks.
touchdown.
2 picks.
3
and a touchdown.
picks.
Yeah.
I like Baker and I think he has a lot of talent, but I think the Panthers were the worst situation for him to go to.
Yeah.
honestly.
Yeah, Matt
Dude,
Rule's
they have
gonna,
weapons though.
They have
You can't
weapons, but
argue
they
that
also
they don't have.
they have
weapons.
Matt Rule.
Yeah.
So-
Matt Rule's going to ruin his season.
Oh.
He hasn't looked horrible so
Put
far,
Najee in, bro.
but he hasn't looked great either. And I mean, we have a really good defense. So I see a one touchdown, 2 interception game. I mean, I could see him throwing a lot of yards against us, but I don't think that's going to turn into
I
touchdowns.
can't even see that. I mean, you
I
have
see-
Marshawn coming off of last week, what happened, and then you got Paulson Adebo, who's been practicing all week. I see the best performance that we've seen out of our whole team. I think it's going to be a very complete game.
I want to be optimistic, but I don't know if I trust our offense right now. So I think our defense stays on the field a lot, and that's the reason why I see a lot of yards. I don't think that turns into a lot of touchdowns, though.
Yeah.
I see a lot of field goals.
I
from
could
the
see that
Panthers.
too.
And people that know me know my prediction is going to be 45-10 Saints.
Yeah, that's a good prediction.
I like to hear it.
Jameis is going to have 3 touchdowns, 0 picks. Again, Alvin Kamara's going to have another 2.
That'd be nice.
Jameis is definitely gonna throw a pick.
No, he ain't.
I'd be fine with 3 touchdowns and 1 pick as long as he came out with the win.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I don't really care about his stats individually if he's throwing picks. I just care about winning.
James is going to
honestly.
change out his
Yeah.
brace, get a better brace on his bat, be able to throw the ball further,
Yeah.
be able to throw it better.
I mean, if he had another 30 touchdown, 30 interception year, but we went like 12-5, I would not care.
Yeah,
I would
no.
still ride for him.
Yeah.
Honestly. Yeah.
Well, kind of moving on from the Week 3 preview and NFL Week 2 summary. Who are y'all's fantasy studs and duds after last week?
I'm gonna go with 2 dudes on my team for studs and duds.
No bias here.
Yeah, I mean,
Fuck no biases. Bias all the way, bro.
Bias all
You got to
the way.
stand behind your guys.
Drake London, who I just traded for, hasn't played a game for me yet. Has I believe 37 points in PPR through 2 weeks, which I mean for a rookie that's really good. He's a wide receiver 14 so far
Yeah.
on the Falcons, garbage team. Yeah, I think he's a stud. I think he's going to be a stud all year. I think Kyle Pitts is going to get more targets as the year goes along, but for now, Drake London is the number 1 option in that offense. So he's a stud for now, I mean, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And then another guy on my team who's a dud, which I don't think it's his fault, but Darnell Mooney.
Yeah.
Let's look at the how many points he's put up through 2 weeks. 2.2 through 2 weeks. 2.2.
He's just coming off. He's
total.
just a slow start.
You know, the biggest problem though is that I mean, obviously the first game, Justin Fields threw 19 passes, mostly to his tight ends and running backs,
Yeah.
because they were playing in a terrible, rain game. Understandable. But week 2 against Green Bay, when they were down most of the game, he threw 11 passes. Justin Fields threw 11 passes week 2 against the Packers in a perfect weather game. That's concerning. Mooney, I mean, through 2 weeks, he's been, covered by great corners. He got covered by Jair Alexander last week, but he's not getting the targets he should because Justin Fields is only throwing the ball 11 times a game.
Yeah.
So he's a dud for now, but I think if the Bears open up their offense, Mooney's going to be a solid wide receiver 2 to 3 on the year.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah. I'm going solely off my team for now, but my stud is Amari Cooper, because a lot of people wrote him off, having Jacoby Brissett for most of the season, pretty much at quarterback. But he had 25 points last week, and currently, as we're watching this, he has 13.50 points. So yeah, I see him having a big year, continuing that. I see him getting a lot of touchdowns in the red zone, which isn't really his style for his whole career, but I kind of see it more this year. And when Deshaun comes back, he's definitely going to be putting up a lot of points. My dud so far has been T.J. Hawkinson. He's had like 6 and 5 points throughout the first 2 games.
Yeah.
He's been getting like 7 targets a game, but he only catches like 3 of them. I don't know if that's his fault or not. I haven't really watched enough Lions games so far to judge, but I know they have more receiver talent than last year, but it really hasn't been a great season to start for TJ. So hopefully he picks that up.
Yeah. My stud for the week is not on my team, but he's a rookie receiver on the Jets. Week 1 wasn't the greatest. He had 8 targets, only 4 receptions for 52 yards. But last week he dropped 30 points. He had 14 targets for 8 catches, 102 yards, and he scored twice. I think he's finally kind of getting all that college rust off. He's kind of polishing into the player he's going to be in the NFL. Historically, the Jets are really bad, but Joe Flacco's a veteran quarterback that can get it out. And I think teams are, I don't want to say more worried about Elijah Moore and Corey Davis, but it seems like Garrett Wilson up to this point has kind of been forgotten about. He's been running wild. So that's my stud. My dud is going to be Kyle Pitts. He had a lot of hype coming into this year.
Big dud.
But so far this year, he has a total of 7.8 points. Each week, he's dropped 3.9. Week 1, he had 2 catches for 19 yards, and last week he also had 2 catches for 19 yards. So that's definitely not the production you want from the player that was supposed to, like, you know, lead your offense with Calvin Ridley being out all year. But he's definitely shit the bed so far.
Yeah.
All right, my week 1 stud is going to be Damian Pierce. All right. Now, he hasn't done much the first 2 weeks of the season, but week 3 he's going up against Chicago, which gave up almost 135 yards to Aaron Jones on 15 attempts. And Damian Pierce, if you watch him, he runs angry, breaking tackles left and right. Now, he hasn't gotten a lot of opportunity, but I think this week he's going to make the most of the opportunities he gets. He's going to have probably 125-yard rush and 2 touchdowns.
No way, bro. He's a bum.
No.
Week 1, 11 carries for 33 yards, and week 2 he had 15 carries for 70 yards. He's
playing some good teams, bro. Playing Indianapolis,
I wouldn't say the Colts are a good team. They just got blown out by the Jaguars.
Bro, they always lose to the fucking Jaguars, bro.
24-0.
It's like the fucking Patriots in their prime losing to the Dolphins every year. It happens.
But
Yeah.
Damian Pierce has yet to get over 10 points.
He's a rookie, bro.
I see that.
It takes him a couple weeks to get going.
But if he continues to get 15 carries a game around there, he's gonna bust up.
At least I'm not a coward like the rest of you fuckers picking like fucking grade A talent.
Well,
fantasy players.
the point of a
Hey,
stud
I
is
picked Drake
someone who-
London. I picked Drake London,
Hey,
rookie.
but the point of a stud is someone who is, like, you know, going off. They're a stud. Like,
Yeah, Damian Pierce is
you're-
gonna be a stud this week.
but that's solely like your opinion and like a prediction. A stud is someone who, like, did good on the field. You know.
Yeah, I feel you.
I thought it was week 3 stud predictions. That I'm predicting that Damian Pierce is gonna be a fucking stud. You take that from experts, right? here.
Okay,
Hey, we'll see.
that's your prediction. Who will be a stud? Who was your stud for this past week? Who did good?
Who was my stud? Michael Pittman. I mean, Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Amon-Ra is a god.
He went off. Yeah.
The Sun God got 12 targets, 9 receptions, 116 yards, 2 receiving touchdowns, plus 2 rushing attempts for 68 rushing yards. 39.4 points total.
Now that is a stud.
Stud.
Yeah,
Damian-
you trying to trade me fucking
No, Damian
everything
Pierce.
for him.
Damian Pierce should really take notes. That is a stud performance.
Who's your dud?
It should be Damian Pierce.
Fuck you, bro.
So far, yeah.
Hey, honestly though, look, like compared to the hype he was getting before the season,
Oh, he's gonna get it. He's gonna get his, bro.
I think he'll get his. I think
I'm
they're.
telling you, he's gonna start this week.
He's
A
gonna
big
go down
problem,
with an injury
but-
next game, and we're all gonna be like, we're all gonna be telling Drew that he's fucking stupid for saying, like, dude, he was gonna be so good.
Can't wait.
A big problem with him so far, though, is that Rex.
You guys are gonna
Burkhead-
suck my cock, all right?
Rex Burkhead didn't barely got anything this
But
past week.
Yeah, but he's been more in the passing game, just in general.
This
Just
past week he literally got 1 carry and 1 target. So they're getting him out the offense.
Yeah, but I
know what you're-
Damian Pierce hasn't got a lot of passing targets. so far.
I know what you're saying, but I think Rex Burkhead is not.
Yeah, I mean, I
Gonna
wouldn't
get a
pick
lot
him up. I'm just saying, like, Damian Pierce isn't getting those targets yet. So
Yeah, but Burkhead isn't either. Is what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say. It's not. The Texans are just bad. They're not. It's not. There's not enough. There's not enough
who's your
ball to
dud?
go around.
My dud for the week is gonna be David Montgomery.
yeah.
This motherfucker.
What you mean, bro?
He had a great week.
What
I
you
traded
mean?
him, but he had a great week too for
fantasy point wise.
Drew, I don't think Drew understands the concept of
me. Drew,
this segment.
David Montgomery.
Wait, are we predicting next week or previous weeks? Because
No,
who the fuck
so
cares
far.
about previous
No,
weeks?
no.
So far.
This
So
is not a
who's been-
prediction segment.
Who's been your dud the last 2 weeks?
Oh, last 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Somebody you thought was gonna be really good.
Kyle Pitts.
There you go.
That was mine, bro. You can't steal mine. Make up your own.
Did you really say Kyle Pitts?
Yes, bro. If you would pay attention. That wasn't even
Welcome
5
to the
minutes ago.
podcast, guys.
All right, so let's try
Okay,
this
well,
again.
while Drew thinks,
And I don't want to hear about someone who you think will do bad. I want to hear someone who has done
Alright,
bad.
motherfucker, who the fuck cares about what happened last week? They're wanting to know what's going to happen next week.
No. The point is somebody who
I'm heated, bro.
somebody before the season who everybody thought was going to do good, like Darnell Mooney, who hasn't done good. Darnell Mooney has
Basically
2.2
a bust
points.
so
okay,
far.
Yeah,
well,
a
look,
bust.
I'll go while Drew
Yeah,
ponders on it
let's
for
skip
a second.
Jeremy.
But I'm gonna start off with my dud, and my dud is gonna be DK Metcalf. I
Yeah.
really had some high hopes for him going into the season. You know, what is it, year 3 for him?
Why?
It's year 3 for him. Look at him. He's a gorilla, bro.
He's playing with, he's
Like
playing with
gorilla
Geno
in a
Smith.
coop, bro.
Bro,
Yeah,
he has Geno
it's
Smith
It's
thrown
Geno
to
Smith,
him.
but DK Metcalf, like, who he is as a person, he's a freaking animal, dude. Like,
No one
7
cares.
and 8 points.
No one-
7 and 8 points though. That's a dud, bro.
Yeah,
you
no
can't
one,
give
no
me
one
at least
cares
10.
how he is as a person. Everyone
I'm
cares
talking
how
about
he does.
his physique, bro.
He is a
I
raw
don't
athlete,
think-
a
I don't
big-
think it's him.
big-bodied receiver.
I don't think it's his
Well, I'm
problem.
just saying-
I think
Wow,
it's
he looks like a
Geno's.
male model.
Seven-
That must mean he's gonna.
He doesn't look like a model, bro. He looks like a gorilla. Like,
Bro, he has like a 12 pack.
yeah, he looks like a gorilla.
Bro, I don't think it's the smartest thing to say on this podcast.
He meant that
Like,
in the.
that's just stereotypical.
Yeah,
He's
trying
trying
Your
to.
mind
being
went there.
racist.
No one
Yeah,
else did.
nobody else thought that in the room.
I'm just trying to
Jesus
protect
Christ.
our podcast.
But anyway,
Bro, we
My
do
dud
not
is
wanna,
DK
we do
Metcalf.
not want to lose
All
our
right.
sponsorship.
and the point
Yeah.
is he had 8 points in fantasy week 1, and then he had 7 points in week 2. That's why he's my dud. Okay, and
it's not great.
the stud is, which I don't have anymore because unfortunately I had to trade away some of my players because my team was hot ass. My stud is Nick Chubb.
Chubb.
And a big reason is, I mean, he had 15 points week 1, but he did have 141 yards. But week 2, he had 87 rushing yards, 3 rushing touchdowns, and 3 receptions for 26 yards, and which equaled out to be 32 points.
Yeah, even with Kareem in the backfield, he's gonna have a huge year.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially with Deshaun being out the first 11 weeks.
Yeah,
I mean,
he
they'll run
actually,
heavy.
as of right now, has the most rushing yards in the NFL.
Yeah, I think he already has like 57 tonight or
Well,
something.
before
he has more
he
than
was
that
already.
now.
I'm pretty sure he was already the leader before this game.
Yeah. So if y'all place any bets out there, definitely go for the over for Nick Chubb like every week.
Yeah.
It's probably a
It's a lock.
guaranteed bet.
It's a lock.
Yeah, Cleveland's O-line just opens up some massive holes.
Yeah.
Well, Drew, what is your dud?
All right, I found one. All right, it's gonna be Robert Woods. He
Yeah.
came into the year. Most people were thinking he's gonna be the number 1 receiver of Tennessee Titans. You know, last year it was gonna be AJ Brown. He had a great year last year. You know, when he wasn't hurt. But Robert Woods so far, he's gonna be my biggest dud so far because first week he had 2 targets for 13 yards. Second week 5 targets for 39 yards. Like, he did better the second week, but still, this motherfucker is not gonna be what was expected in the preseason.
Yeah.
He is in
it's-
fact a dud.
And having Ryan Tannehill at quarterback, which he's had a horrible year to start, it's not good. So,
Aren't the Titans 0-2 now?
yeah.
Derrick Henry has been nerfed.
I
Him
think
too.
Derrick Henry has
He
been
needs to get
figured
that played out of his
and-
foot.
I think that O line is complete garbage, which is why they can't establish a run game, which
Yeah.
is why they also can't establish the pass game.
Well, I seen a thing and like, there's been a lot of rushes with Derrick Henry where he's moving side to side too much.
Yeah.
Like, you want to run him off the center's ass and the guard's ass downhill. Like, somebody that big, you don't want to move side to side and having to make them miss tackles. Yeah, he can stiff arm somebody,
Go
but
truck somebody, bro.
he has the sideline against him too.
I think part of that though is that they know the O line is so bad that they're just trying to get him out in the open field.
Yeah.
Which, like, I get, like, I agree with what you're saying, but at the same time, it's like, how are you gonna run them up the middle when your O line is not gonna hold the block?
Yeah.
You know, like the same result's gonna happen. So it's almost like you want to risk bouncing them out and letting them make a play rather than just throwing them up the middle and letting your O line let them get hit.
Right.
So but they're just a bad team right now.
Yeah,
That's
either
that's
way,
all it
it's
comes
a
down.
lose at this point.
It's on the O line. That's really what it is.
Yeah. Well, I guess that. Well, actually, we didn't cover Brett Favre. What?
Yeah.
I know Drew has some hot
Yeah.
takes for.
Drew's Brett Favre.
All right, I might be the only Brett Favre defender in the entire fucking country right now. But all right, so for those of you who don't know, Brett Favre apparently stole what $5 million from the state of Mississippi welfare fund.
I wouldn't even say he stole it. I just think he was
He accepted.
he was an advisor. He was definitely
I mean, he knew
the
money
driving
was being
force
taken.
behind it.
Yeah.
All right, so the previous week I had some hotter takes, but that podcast got deleted. Thanks, Braden.
That wasn't my fault.
But old Brett Favre, he accepted $5 million to build a fucking volleyball stadium for his daughter's school, even though she transferred a little bit later.
Wait. Where'd he get that $5 million from?
The welfare fund. But anyway, Brett Favre is a stupid motherfucker, alright? He didn't even know what a nickel defense was, like his fucking 5th year in the league, alright? So,
He was popping a lot of
does he even know what welfare is?
I don't know.
Second,
I think he does. He does Copperfit commercials.
yeah, because he's horrible with money. It's not like he has $5 million to spend on this fucking volleyball stadium on, like, in his bank account.
Take the poor people's money.
Did he decide to take it from the fucking welfare fund?
Did he know that it was from the welfare fund?
Sure, but is he gonna fucking deny fucking $5
So he
million?
did decide to take it.
I don't think he knew. I really don't.
Oh,
I think he knew it was coming from the state of Mississippi.
No, I think he knew.
He knew.
His
knew.
text
Yeah,
messages say otherwise.
He probably knew,
Will
but
they
like,
know where this is coming from?
Is anybody gonna find out?
okay,
Yeah.
most people do not follow politics. No, politics is boring as fuck, bro. They are not gonna understand that welfare money and state money are two different things. All right, all he sees is that $5 million from the state of Mississippi, so I can build my daughter a fucking volleyball stadium. Yeah, I'm gonna take that
NFL,
shit.
bro.
Yeah.
Played in the NFL.
What about the text messages? Isn't that pretty incriminating?
Well, wait.
All right, he already had a dick pic exposed, so no shit he's gonna be wary about the fucking media.
Yeah,
trying
but
to
I'm saying-
expose his ass.
Isn't that a
I'm saying
conversation that you should have in person?
If he didn't think this was wrong, why would he be like, is anybody gonna find out about
So what
this?
if he thought it was?
Texting about
Yeah, it's technically wrong, but who wouldn't accept $5 million from the state of Mississippi to fucking help their daughter out, bro? He's just trying to get his kids further in
So,
life, bro.
He's
think
Brett Favre. He
I think-
should have that money.
I think
He's
most
stupid as
people-
fuck though. That's what I'm trying to get at. This guy is not some fucking genius. He's a football player.
So you think he's just naive enough to take $5 million from the state of Mississippi, like they're just gonna hand it over to him?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened,
just for
bro.
no
That
reason.
motherfucker is a hero in the state of Mississippi.
That is true.
I don't think they care enough just to freely hand him $5 million.
Apparently, the governor of Mississippi thought so.
Well, I don't think that most quarterbacks, active or retired, would have done what he done. I mean, he tried taking credit for like raising the money and donating it to Southern Mississippi. But
That's even worse.
honestly, it would not. If you really think about it, it would not be hard for somebody with the name like Brett Favre to hold a donation or start a fucking GoFundMe.
Yeah.
You cannot tell me that it would be that hard for somebody like Brett Favre to raise $5 million.
Well, yeah, he's too
And
prideful.
do it
Too much work.
and do it legitimately, like he said.
He's
too
too
much
prideful
work.
for that.
How many millions of dollars did J.J. Watt raise after them hurricanes in Houston?
Oh, a lot.
Yeah,
A lot.
of money.
You can't tell me that he couldn't raise $5 million or at
Does
least
Brett Favre
half.
even know how to use the internet?
Evidently, not. Dude
Probably
is a
still has
fucking
Nokia.
clown.
He always a fucking BlackBerry, bro.
And
And all this for what? His daughter went to USM for what, 3 years, and now she's at LSU.
yeah,
Like, bro,
LSU.
your daughter better
Bro,
fucking.
they better.
Your daughter better be the best goddamn volleyball player to ever go to USM. She better get a fucking statue on the outside of it. That's how good she is for that shit.
And do not let Brett Favre come to our program because we're already on probation.
Yeah.
Yeah, please don't.
Yeah.
I know Brett Favre. If you want to come on the podcast, we'd love to ask you.
Please, Brett Favre,
some
come on the pod.
questions.
Defend your name.
You could bring some of Mississippi's money with you too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Share your side of the story for once.
We need to get this pod going. So some of that Mississippi money would be nice.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
But, well, I really don't have any opinions on the Brett Favre situation other than the fact that I think he knew where the money was coming from, which is why he asked if people would find out. And he played quarterback in the NFL. So why are you taking donations to build your daughter, basically for your daughter, a volleyball court for $5 million?
Yeah, you got to be real.
$5 million?
If his
For
daughter
a volleyball court, bro?
if his daughter wouldn't go in there, he
Badass
would not be
volleyball
worried
court.
about that shit.
No.
He really wouldn't.
Yeah.
Hey, he just pulled a Brett Favre.
And
That's
it
all
could-
there is to it. He pulled a Brett Favre.
And he's honestly, bro, he's getting away with it. Like that is not being.
It's not really a
all.
big-
Gets away
it's not-
with a lot of
Dude, it's
stuff.
not that big of a headline, like as big as you think it would be.
Brett Favre has gotten away with a lot in his career.
And how many people do you think actually go to a college volleyball game for Southern Miss?
Exactly.
Like 100?
Have you ever seen volleyball girls, bro? I'd go to a volleyball game.
I've been to a McNeese volleyball games, and there was a attendance of about 15 people there.
Yeah, just
So,
just in case my girlfriend's listening, I'm not gonna comment.
Yeah, no comment.
She's not listening now.
Sadly.
We'll bleep it out.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I think it's gonna wrap up this pod.
Yeah.
It was
Uh,
good having
probably-
special guest Drew on here.
Well, dude, it was a pleasure being here. I really got to take a piss. I'm stuck in between two beautiful guys right now, so I can't get up.
You want to go
That's
skiing?
cool.
Yeah.
This pod is probably a little longer than you're used to, but you can deal with it.
And for our listeners, I'm sorry about the language and the skiing comment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro,
Suck it up.
95% of people are not still listening. This is just some bonus content for the real ones out there.
Yeah, for Brad out there. I know Brad still listening.
What up, Brad?
Brad would enjoy it. Yeah.
This is going to be on the DVD set.
All right.
yeah.
Well, catch us again in a few days. We'll have some more week 3
Recap.
Yeah. I guess we will follow up on week 3 and some week 4 predictions, and we'll talk about the LSU game. I mean, but there's not really talk about the LSU game this week. They're playing New Mexico State, so we're not.
Hey,
gonna
don't
really waste
write
our
them
time
off,
for
man.
that. I'm not gonna write them off because LSU's done some crazy things.
LSU looked
Sure.
really good against Mississippi State.
They did.
That's my recap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did.
So, and we'll start SEC play after this week, so we'll have
Yeah,
continue.
We got
rather.
Florida.
Who we got first? Ole Miss.
I think it's Florida.
Yeah, maybe we'll play Florida.
Oh, okay.
So, and then like Tennessee.
I'm
or
not
something.
scared of Florida.
A-Shan's about to run all over.
I'm not
us.
scared of it. No, he's not.
Yeah.
Anyway.
They're frauds.
We'll get into that next week.
Yeah. Anyways, all right. So we'll go and end this now.
All right.
Peace.
End it right.